Lei Jun, CEO of Xiaomi, loves to present his company as China's answer to Apple. Sleek products, integrated ecosystem, seamless user experience. The Xiaomi home platform has become one of the world's largest smart home ecosystems, with hundreds of millions of devices deployed across homes in China and increasingly worldwide. Smart lights, security cameras, air purifiers, robot vacuums, rice cookers, door locks. If it plugs in or connects to Wi-Fi, Xiaomi probably makes a version of it. The promise is compelling. An AI-powered home where everything works together seamlessly, controlled from a single app, learning your preferences, automating your life. And at prices significantly lower than Western competitors like Apple HomeKit, Google Home, or Amazon Alexa. Want a smart home? Xiaomi makes it affordable. But there is a problem that becomes apparent only after you have invested in the ecosystem. The devices break far faster than competitors. Data collection vastly exceeds what the functionality requires. Features that were free suddenly require subscriptions. Cross-brand compatibility promises evaporate in practice, and customer service systematically rejects warranty claims over trivial technicalities. Today, we are going to examine why Xiaomi's smart home ecosystem is optimized for data extraction and planned obsolescence rather than actual user benefit. Why the affordable ecosystem becomes expensive when you calculate true cost of ownership. And what happens when a company prioritizes growth metrics over product quality. By the end, you will understand why that cheap smart bulb costs you far more than the purchase price in money, privacy, and frustration. Let us start with the promise versus reality gap because it is enormous and systematic. Lei Jun positions Xiaomi as building an Apple-like ecosystem for China and emerging markets. The sales pitch emphasizes seamless integration, beautiful design, and user-friendly experiences at accessible prices. Marketing materials show homes where everything communicates perfectly, lights that adjust automatically, climate control that learns your preferences, and security systems that protect intelligently. The reality experienced by millions of users tells a different story. Devices fail at rates dramatically higher than competitors. A Xiaomi smart bulb typically lasts 2 to 3 years before developing connectivity issues or simply dying. Compare that to Philips Hue bulbs, which commonly function reliably for 5 to 7 years. Xiaomi robot vacuums experience motor failures, navigation problems, and battery degradation within 18 to 24 months. Compare that to iRobot Roomba units that routinely operate for 4 to 5 years with basic maintenance. Xiaomi security cameras, devices people rely on for home security, develop connectivity problems, stop recording reliably, or simply brick themselves after firmware updates. Air purifiers slow down, make increasing noise, and lose efficiency after 2 years. Smart locks experience battery drain issues, connectivity failures, and occasionally lock people out of their own homes. The pattern is consistent across product categories. Xiaomi devices work acceptably when new, degrade noticeably within 18 months, and become unreliable or unusable within 2 to 3 years. This is not bad luck or isolated incidents. This is systematic planned obsolescence designed to force regular replacement purchases. Now let us talk about data collection, because what Xiaomi devices actually do reveals their true purpose. A smart light bulb needs minimal data, on and off commands, dimming levels, maybe scheduling information. That is all. But Xiaomi smart bulbs, like virtually all Xiaomi IoT devices, collect and transmit vastly more data than functionality requires. According to security researchers who have analyzed Xiaomi device traffic, smart home products routinely transmit the following: usage patterns down to minute-by-minute detail, not just light turned on at 7 p.m., but continuous status updates showing exactly how you use every device, creating detailed behavior profiles. Location data from devices that have no functional need for location. A smart bulb does not need to know where your house is to turn on and off, yet Xiaomi devices geotag data transmissions. Network information including other devices on your network, essentially mapping your entire home network topology. App usage data from your phone, including what other apps you are running and when. All of this data transmits to Xiaomi servers in China with minimal encryption in many cases. Security researchers have documented Xiaomi devices sending data in clear text that can be intercepted and read by anyone monitoring network traffic. Why does a smart bulb need this much data? Because the bulb is not primarily a light source. It is a data collection node. Xiaomi is not primarily selling you smart home devices. They are selling your data, and the physical devices are just the delivery mechanism for getting sensors into your home. Let's examine the planned obsolescence timeline because it is remarkably consistent and clearly intentional. Multiple independent analyses of Xiaomi device lifespans show similar patterns. Smart devices work well for 12 to 18 months, and then issues begin emerging, including connectivity problems, performance degradation, and battery issues. By months 24 to 36, devices become unreliable enough that most users replace them. This timeline conveniently coincides with warranty periods and the product refresh cycle. Xiaomi introduces new models every 18 to 24 months. Original models often develop problems right as new versions launch. Firmware updates for older devices either stop entirely or introduce new problems that make upgrading seem attractive. This is not a natural hardware lifespan. Modern LED bulbs can last 10+ years. Quality motors in robot vacuums can run thousands of hours, but Xiaomi builds products engineered to fail within a specific time frame that maximizes replacement revenue while staying just outside warranty coverage. The true cost of ownership calculation is devastating. A Xiaomi smart bulb costs $8. That sounds cheap compared to a $45 Philips Hue bulb. But the Xiaomi bulb lasts 2 years, while the Hue bulb lasts 7 years. Per year cost, Xiaomi $4. Philips $6.40. Not dramatically different, and Philips does not collect detailed behavioral data about your household. Apply this across an entire smart home ecosystem. 50 devices at $10 to $100 each, replaced every 2 to 3 years, versus more expensive devices that last 5 to 7 years. The affordable Xiaomi ecosystem becomes more expensive over 5 years than premium alternatives. Plus, you are providing constant data streams to Chinese servers. Now let's talk about subscription creep because this reveals Xiaomi's business model evolution. Early Xiaomi smart home devices provided all features without ongoing fees. Buy a camera and get cloud storage included. Buy an air purifier and track your air quality history indefinitely. This was part of the value proposition, affordable hardware with no hidden costs. But once users invested in the ecosystem, bought 10 or 20 devices, or built their home automation around Xiaomi, suddenly features started requiring subscriptions. Cloud storage for security cameras now requires a monthly payment. Advanced air quality analysis became a subscription feature. Extended automation rules moved behind a premium subscription. Video doorbells that previously stored footage for 7 days now store only 24 hours unless you pay monthly fees. This is classic bait and switch. Companies get users locked into an ecosystem with attractive initial pricing, then monetize the installed base through subscriptions. Users cannot avoid without losing functionality they relied on. Users who built smart homes around Xiaomi products discover their one-time purchase was not actually one-time at all. Let's examine the cross-brand compatibility promises because they are largely fiction. Xiaomi heavily promotes that their platform supports hundreds of brands and thousands of devices through partnerships and protocols like Zigbee and Bluetooth Mesh. The marketing suggests you can freely mix Xiaomi devices with others, building a customized smart home. Reality is dramatically different. Third-party devices frequently do not work reliably with Xiaomi's app. Automation rules that should work across brands fail unpredictably. Updates to Xiaomi's platform regularly break compatibility with third-party devices. Customer support for cross-brand issues is non-existent, and both Xiaomi and the third-party manufacturer claim it is the other company's responsibility. The practical result is that once you buy into Xiaomi's ecosystem, you are effectively locked in. Trying to integrate other brands creates more problems than it solves. You either go all Xiaomi or you abandon the Xiaomi platform entirely. This is not accidental, it is designed vendor lock-in disguised as open compatibility. Now let's talk about customer service nightmares, because this is where the business model's true nature becomes undeniable. Xiaomi systematically denies warranty claims over minor technicalities that have nothing to do with actual defects. Device stopped working after 11 months, warranty denied because the serial number sticker is slightly faded. Robot vacuum motor failed after 18 months, warranty denied because you used third-party cleaning solution. Smart lock malfunctioned, warranty denied because you did not register it within 30 days of purchase. The tactics are consistent across markets. Create strict warranty terms that are difficult to comply with perfectly. Train customer service to find any possible reason to deny claims. Make the claims process so frustrating that most customers give up. The goal is not to honor warranties, it is to minimize warranty fulfillment while technically offering warranty protection for legal purposes. Compare this to premium brands. Apple, despite criticism in many areas, generally honors warranties straightforwardly. Philips replaces defective bulbs with minimal hassle. iRobot provides comprehensive customer support for troubleshooting and repairs. These companies understand that product reliability and customer service are part of brand value. Xiaomi operates on a different model. It aims to maximize unit sales and minimize after-sale support costs, relying on low prices to make users tolerate poor reliability and poor support. It works because users who are price-sensitive often prioritize initial purchase cost over lifetime value. Let's examine the data transmission patterns more technically, because security researchers have documented concerning specifics. Analysis of network traffic from Xiaomi devices shows several troubling patterns. On transmission frequency, many devices phone home every few minutes, even when idle, sending status updates that do not correspond to any user action or functional need. This constant communication is not necessary for operation, it is surveillance. On data destinations, traffic analysis shows data going not just to Xiaomi servers, but to third-party analytics platforms, advertising networks, and in some cases, Chinese government servers. The data flow is opaque, and users cannot know who is receiving what information. On encryption gaps, while some data is encrypted, significant portions are not. Security researchers have captured plain text transmissions containing device IDs, network information, and usage data that could be intercepted by anyone monitoring network traffic. Encryption is inconsistent. On opt-out effectiveness, even when users disable data sharing in settings, devices continue transmitting detailed telemetry. The settings often control marketing data sharing, not operational data collection, and that distinction is not clearly explained to users. Compare this to Apple HomeKit, where devices communicate locally whenever possible. Encrypted transmissions are mandatory, and Apple's business model does not depend on data monetization. Some devices work entirely locally without any cloud requirement. Xiaomi's approach prioritizes data extraction over privacy because data becomes the product. Now, let's talk about what happens when devices fail and why the replacement cycle matters so much to Xiaomi's business. Xiaomi's growth strategy depends on continuous device turnover. They are not trying to build products that last a decade, they are building products that need replacement every 2 to 3 years. This creates recurring revenue without the complexity of subscriptions, though they are adding subscriptions as well. The math is simple. Sell a user 50 smart home devices at $15 each, which equals $750. If those devices last 2 years, that user will spend another $750 in years 3 to 4 and another $750 in years 5 to 6. Total revenue over 6 years, $2,250. Compare that to selling 50 devices at $20 each that last 6 years, which yields $1,000 in total revenue. Xiaomi makes 125% more revenue from the planned obsolescence model despite lower unit prices. For users, this creates a treadmill. Every couple of years, multiple devices start failing. You cannot just replace one bulb because the new model may require an updated app that does not fully support your old devices. You end up replacing more devices than you planned, and before you know it, you are constantly buying replacements to maintain a smart home that was supposed to simplify your life. Let's examine the broader business model and why this approach makes sense for Xiaomi, even though it is terrible for users. Ecosystem lock-in get users dependent on Xiaomi's app, data, and automation, so switching costs are high. Data monetization. Collect behavioral data from every device and sell to advertisers, insurance companies, data brokers, and potentially government entities. Service subscriptions. Charge for cloud storage, advanced features, and premium functions. Replacement revenue. Engineer products to fail within 2 to 3 years, forcing continuous repurchase. This model works for Xiaomi's growth metrics. They can report millions of new devices sold, a growing user base, and an expanding ecosystem. Wall Street and Chinese regulators see impressive growth numbers. Users see products that break quickly, privacy violations, increasing costs, and frustration. That is the bottom line. By the time users realize the true cost, they are already locked into the ecosystem, and switching seems too expensive and complicated. First, the affordable positioning is misleading when you calculate the true cost of ownership. Devices that cost half as much but last 1/3 as long are not actually cheaper, they are more expensive, and they require constant attention to replace failed units. Second, data collection is far more extensive than necessary for basic functionality. You are not just buying smart home devices, you are installing surveillance infrastructure in your home that constantly reports to Chinese servers. Third, the ecosystem is not as open and compatible as marketed. Once you commit to Xiaomi, you are effectively locked in because mixing brands reliably is nearly impossible despite promises of openness. Fourth, customer service is designed to minimize company costs rather than solve user problems. Expect warranty denials over technicalities and frustrating support experiences when devices fail. Service often protects the company more than the customer. Fifth, features you rely on can suddenly require subscriptions without warning, turning a one-time purchase into ongoing expenses you cannot avoid without losing functionality. Now let us address what this does not mean because context matters. This does not mean all Xiaomi products are terrible or that some users do not have positive experiences. Some devices work fine for some people. The issue is systematic patterns that emerge at scale, planned obsolescence, excessive data collection, and customer service that prioritizes company interests over user needs. This does not mean expensive alternatives are always better. Premium smart home products can have their own issues. The point is that Xiaomi's low prices come with hidden costs that are not obvious until you are already invested in the ecosystem. And this does not mean there are not legitimate use cases for Xiaomi products. Someone who wants to try smart home technology cheaply before committing to expensive ecosystems might reasonably use Xiaomi. The problem is people building entire homes around Xiaomi products without understanding the long-term costs and limitations. So what is the bottom line? Xiaomi markets its smart home ecosystem as an affordable alternative to premium brands, emphasizing seamless integration and artificial intelligence-powered automation. The reality is an ecosystem optimized for data extraction and planned obsolescence, where devices reliably fail within 2 to 3 years, customer service systematically denies warranty claims, and features increasingly require subscriptions. The Apple-like ecosystem Lei Jun promises is actually the opposite of Apple's approach. Apple products are expensive up front but generally reliable long-term, with strong customer service and business models that do not depend on data harvesting. Xiaomi products are cheap up front but expensive over time, with poor reliability, hostile customer service, and business models built on surveillance and forced replacement cycles. When you buy a Xiaomi smart bulb for $8, you are not just buying a light. You are installing a data collection node that will report your household patterns to Chinese servers, work acceptably for 18 months, degrade noticeably, and fail completely within 3 years. Then you will buy another one, and the cycle continues. That is not a smart home ecosystem. That is a subscription service disguised as a one-time hardware purchase with surveillance infrastructure bundled in and your privacy sold to cover the discount on the purchase price. The truly smart home choice is to calculate the actual cost, including replacement cycles, subscription fees, and the value of your privacy, rather than just comparing initial purchase prices. When you do that math honestly, Xiaomi's affordable ecosystem becomes expensive and exploitative. Don't forget to subscribe for more analysis revealing the hidden costs behind affordable technology. Thanks for watching.